Well, hello there, good morning. It's Josh right here from racingtoprofit.co.uk. I hope you've had a good weekend. Saturday was rather enjoyable for any followers of trend shortlists. My voice is a bit croaky. I was at York on Saturday, had a good day out, cheering, flying pursuit home was good fun. And success days at slightly shorter odds, but 10 to 3 was still pretty good. And I think from memory, I was quite sweet on him in the video preview, but I do forget. Anyway, that was a fun day. We can't look backwards for too long in this game. I'm probably due a load of losers now, as the big race trends and stats probably are, given these shortlist has found the winner of the last 6 races I've looked at. But that's for the future. Looking ahead, I suspect I will have a look at the Galway hurdle and plate from a trends and stats perspective. And there's the Stewards Cup on Saturday. I should think that will be the only trends race from Goodwood, but we shall see. The purpose of today's video is to have a quick flick through the Galway card, and I'm going to keep conscious on the time here because 30-minute videos aren't practical all the time. I want to get this one done within about 10 minutes, so we're going to have a quick flick through of the Galway card using this list of horses you can see in front of you, which are from my members' big meeting notes. They are starting points. These have had some success, some mix. They didn't do too well at the July meeting, in truth. Plenty kind of came second or third. The likes of Chester, they found a handful of decent price winners. The best meeting so far was the York Dante meeting, and one particular stat for O'Meara, which found 3 winners at 25s, 25s, and 56 to 1 on Betfair starting price. So that was good fun. Royal Ascot did okay, small profits there, or they wiped their face in terms of the microsystems versus the notes. And what else? Well, we had since, oh yeah, in the July meeting, as I said. So they do find winners. As I said, they are starting points. I would use them as part of any further analysis when looking at a race. And normally, the bigger odds, the better. As always, can sometimes be the case. It doesn't take many big price winners to pay for a lot of losers and leave some money left over to spend how you please. And if you're a small stakes punter in the kind of £2 to £20 range, which I am in general, they're the most fun horses to back. So yeah, with that said, let's crack on. I will stop waffling and jump straight to GG's Gold, which, as you know, is my first point of call, along with Horse Race Base, I should say. This is Horse Race Base. This is what I use for plenty of my system building research and the big race trends. And they have race cards as well, which I look at certain different things. But I'll do that another day. So we're over at Galway. I'll keep looking down to my right hand side because that is where I have this list of qualifiers written, so that will stop me flicking from page to page. They're going to be the starting point. I would get a notepad with you, as hopefully you may find something that jumps out and is of interest. The first thing to say is the going is soft on the jumps course. I believe it's yielding to soft. It's kind of good to soft on the flat course. So we'll keep it as soft for now. Let's go. So the 520 Nessum Dormer is a qualifier for Mullins. This is a novice hurdle. It's not a race I would personally bother playing in, and certainly at those odds. Mullins is in form, as you can see there. 26 runners in the last 14 days, 8 winners, 17 finished in the top 3 or placed, including those 8 winners. They are doing okay, but as is always often the case with Mullins, many get well backed. And interestingly enough, they're actually performing below market expectations, which is an indication that many are probably overbet and are sent off a shorter price than their actual chance warrants. It's always interesting to know. I don't really want to say much on this race. Mullins is in form, O'Brien's in form. You've got two unexposed horses. It's a race packed full of unexposed horses. Something's going to win. Maybe Nessun Dorma does hack up. The one thing I suppose that did catch my eye when looking through this, it is his first run. Well, he ran on yielding, yeah, there. If this is softer on the soft side, on the well, it is on the soft side. Sorry, this is a jumps race. That is a question. That is an unknown, as we say. And given he won on good to firm last time out, and 9 horses have since run in that race where he won, and only one of them has placed, although many of them may have been running to get handicap marks if they ran in subsequent novice hurdles. So that may mean something, it may not. So yeah, there's not much to say there. He's unexposed, he may hack up, win head and chest. O'Brien's may hack up, hard held. De Bromhead's has a lightly raced one, well, they're all lightly raced. So I will leave that there really. I'm not going to focus on that. Do with that as you please. Handicap hurdle, what are we next? Artful Artist is the first starting point for Tony Martin. 4-1, Davy Russell in the plate. Let's just have a look at his form. They are going okay. They're performing above market expectations. He's had 3 winners. The profit loss there indicates that they have been a decent enough price. What can we say about this horse? 4-1 seems short enough for me personally in the 23 runner handicap hurdle. But he is, what is he? He is from the flat. He's had 9 goes in hurdles. He's placed 3 times. I want to look at his record in handicap hurdles. We can see that he's run 5 times. You can see that I've just clicked the handicap, so that sorts all of his previous race record. He's had 5 goes. If I look back, he's ran at Galway. What was that? 26th of July 16. So possibly this race, maybe, without looking back. But he's run here at the festival. It looks, wasn't this race, was it? Because it was a flat race, not a hurdle race. But he's ran at the festival and clearly handles the tight nature of this track well enough. What else can I say? I mean, he's lightly raced. He's unexposed enough in handicap hurdles, while starting to look more on the unexposed side. He does need to step up, but canny Tony Martin may have been plotting and plotting for this race. He does like to target it. The other thing I want to look at, obviously Davy Russell's up, so I want to have a look at his record with Davy Russell. So this is on the trainer's record. I'm looking at jockey. If I look at handicaps, I mean, they're only 4 from 27, could be better, but they're profitable. Chases seems to be the place to focus when he's on a chaser. These stats for the last 5 years, so Russell's only ridden marked in chasers 8 times in the last 5 years, handicap chasers. 2 have won, 50% in the top 3 or 4 or places, depending, well, it would be 4 max. Hurdle turf, they do okay. Let's have a look at the course. Well, this is saying they haven't actually teamed up at Galway as yet, or in recent history anyway, in handicaps or in any kind of race. So that's interesting enough. The other thing I want to note looking at this is that he has had 106 days off, and I want to have a look at Martin's record with horses returning after a break. So I can do this 60 days box here. We are in a handicap hurdle, so I want to have a look at the actual type of race we are in. And he is only 10 from 115. Handicap hurdlers returning after a break of 60 days or more. That's a winning percentage of 8.7. Not brilliant. Putting a pound on every one of those would have lost you £67 over the years. That isn't shrewd punting. But has he got a decent record at the course with such runners, given that he may target this meeting? He may be plotting, he may like to protect horses' handicap marks by not running them. And there we go. So, all stats, pretty average. Galway, after 60 days, 11 runners, 4 have won, 6 have been in the top 3. £1 on each would have won you £7 and 50 pence, which is, you know, that's a couple of pints up in Liverpool, half a pint down in London. And you can see the record there. You can have a flick through all the way back to July 14, and he's won some big ones, 7-2, 7-2. I mean, having said 4-1 is short in a big field race. It looks like the Martin team know when to put the money down. Quick Jack, he was only 9-2. Heartbreak City 3-1. Dollar and a Dream ran well last year, returning off. So yes, his handicap hurdles 60 days or more off the track. So that's a decent, well, it's a decent little micro angle there, I suppose. A micro within a micro. So Artful Artist, lightly enough raced, may have been plotted up. The market suggests he probably has a chance. It looks to be a lot of dross in this race. I can click on the Instant Expert tab here, and we can have a look at who stands out. And there's a lot of red. There's a lot of horses that have raced in these race conditions and as yet really haven't won or got their head in front. Artful Artist appears to have had 13 runs in the equivalent of Class 4. A lot of those will have been on the flat. He does have some questions to answer. I'm not jumping up and down to back him at that price, but you've seen the stats. This angle is based on Martin's stats doing quite well. In whatever angle it was, I forget. And yeah, the market is generally quite a good guide for his. But that's that. He does need to show more, but maybe he will bounce into life here. Who knows? There's no headgear on, or anything else really that he's doing different in that sense. And I do just want to check the horse's form, or just have a look to see. Well, he's won on the flat and soft. That's what I was just looking for. Some indication that squelchy turf isn't a problem for him, and over 17 furlongs. So yeah, ground isn't a concern. I wouldn't be using that as an excuse. So yeah, that's that. That's that race done. As I said, there's not much here. He's Our Man stands out on the play stats, but I mean, you can go back and look at the race. He's the 12-year-old. He has questions to answer, but you never know. In terms of what he's done on the track before, interesting enough. This green here, Canny Tom, seems to have a good record at placing over the distance and in the class. Not winning though, 0 from 14, 0 from 11. Maybe he's a bit of a monkey and needs cajoling. Yeah, there's not much there. If I didn't have that Tony Martin weigh in, I don't think this moderate looking handicap hurdle is where I would start. Oh, a maiden race. This is where we make lots of money. Not. Well, I don't. I don't really get much enjoyment from looking at maiden races. The only time I attempt them is with some of my track stats in the members club, in terms of trainers that do well at certain courses with first time out 2-year-olds, which has a handy report here where you can find that at the click of a button. None of these are first time out. Roderick II, as you will see from the blog post or the list of horses below this video, qualifies or looks interesting on a Hogan angle. Mainly that's all his flat runners, this particular angle. There's a few subsections to that. What I want to highlight him here is firstly his form, which is interesting for some of his other qualifiers, I think. His horses are going well. 20 runners, 4 have won, 7, including those 4, finished in the top, or finished in the places. They're performing well above market expectations and well above chance, which is the impact value number there. So both of those, anything above 1 is good. The stat I will point you to here, I mean, there's lots of snippet stats here, which again is another great feature of GG's Gold, and just clicking this trainer form. You can see here within the last 2 years, I believe these drop-down stats are based on. He has had 30 runners having their second ever career start. None have won, 3 have hit the board. That isn't something I particularly want to focus on. He did nothing on debut. He's stepping up by a furlong. He runs on soft ground. Maybe a miracle. They may be the 2 reasons why he suddenly snaps back into life. If this has been a plot or a plan, I think you'd expect some market support. The market here is indicating this is a 2-horse race. Who the hell would back a horse at 8-11 who has shown a distinct liking for not winning, given he was 130 last time? Some people will. O'Brien's in form, at least. Who would back him at that price? Stupid, in my opinion. Impactful, Jim Bolger, what can we learn about him? His second start stats, 10 from 122. Again, they're not great. I mean, he performs 50% above market expectations. Plenty of them get smashed in. Medal of Honor's clearly going to hack up now, hard held on the bridle. And I dare say he's that price because the opposition is awful. But maybe there'll be a shock in this race. What's Mr. Slattery like? Yes, his second start for him, only 1 from 28. 60 days off, only 2 from 40. Nah. So those two are short price, maybe by default. Maybe they will battle it out, but well, that's enough time spent on that. How long have I been going? It's definitely more than 10 minutes. 15. Right, we're going to get this done in 20. 7:05. Vanderbilt. Trainer is in form. That's what I want to focus on. 40 to 1. That's quite interesting. He is. What I'm going to say about him is this is a handicap. It's on the flat. The trainer is in form. The horse is blinkers are returning the first time for him, and he's unexposed. There could be more to come. There should be more to come at some point. It's only the second run for the yard, the third run since December 16. He did sod all the last day. Pushed along, headed 3 out, weakened from over 2 out. That was the first time hood that's removed. Blinkers are back on, so that's a reason why he may suddenly spark back into life. And the fact the yard has suddenly snapped into some okay form. They weren't doing too badly before that, but it's interesting. And you can see here from clicking on here, nothing has form in soft. No horse in here has winning form in soft. This horse here, who I'm not going to pronounce, his 15 to 2 looks interesting from a place perspective. And if I change this going to heavy, let's say it's on the softer side, and we can find those that at least like getting their hooves in the ground. Any winners on heavy? The McGregornator at 14s, and actually he's got a nice little line across the top there, £3 above his last winning mark, but at least he is proven in race conditions. 14 to 1. Dinky Inti, 1 from 1, but 0 from 10 over 7 furlongs, 0 from 9 in a class. That wouldn't inspire you with confidence or fill you with confidence. So number 1 might be of interest each way. Might be worth having a closer look at him. So will number 4. He looks like he runs his race in these conditions. And we've got the stats horse at 40 to 1 who needs to show something from somewhere. I haven't as yet looked at the pace map, so that is always interesting. You can see there from the pace map here that leading and racing promptly at Galway is useful. That will no doubt be because it is a very tight track. If horses are on the turn regularly, it means you can only go so quick when you're racing on a turn, which means the horses at the front are probably naturally might be going slower than they could otherwise be doing. They may be saving energy, and if jockeys can kick at the right time, they can get away on the front end. And also, because of Galway, you get massive fields, and there is all kinds of carnage, especially from memory on the final turn as they enter. As horses are scrimmaging for position, you've got horses getting tired, dropping back, and just causing nightmares. And of course, sometimes you have hurdles to jump or fences to jump as well. So mainly, you want to be in the front third here, and the closer you can get to the front and an easier lead you can get, the better. Number 4 is drawn low, and he likes to front run, and he is consistent, which is more than can be said for a lot of horses in this race. And at 7.5 to 1, 8 to 1, I haven't looked at odds checker. There's probably some decent prices around. He may be an interesting each way bet if you had to have a play in the race or wanted to entertain your evening at 7:05. The Hogan outsider, he races prominently. He's drawn in 1, so he may be bustled out close up, and he probably will track number 4. So he'll be in the right place. Maybe those blinkers will work their magic, and maybe I'll chuck £2.50 or something at him at Betfair starting price and have everything crossed. That's all I want to say on him. This video is going to be long, isn't it? Just that's the way it is. 7:05. What else do I want to highlight? We've got horses here that are making handicap debut. In this race type, I think. So yeah, click down again. I can see the trainer's record with first starters in a handicap there of interest there. This trainer here doesn't look like they're very good at training, or they have a load of poor horses. Maybe they're brilliant in the point-to-pointing world, I have no idea. Or they're a pre-training yard, or they make money from this game somehow, but it doesn't at the moment look like. It is through training flat horses to win. That's that. There's a few lurkers in here. Oliver is 1 from 31 with handicap debutants. I mean, it is a 3-year-old only race. There are going to be horses in here that are suddenly going to maybe show something that they haven't shown before. Most of these look moderate, but some will be improving for racing, some will be strengthening up. 3-year-old handicaps are not races to go mad in as a matter of course, because generally there are too many unknowns, and in reality we don't want too many unknowns in terms of across the contenders in a race, because it's a puzzle and those ones can be too difficult to crack. Let's move on to the 740, where there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 potential qualifiers. Most of them have odds caps. The Mullins horses I'll only be interested in if they're 5 to 1 or shorter. One of them may win at a price, but that's based on the historical stats that I've looked at for him at the meeting. So there's a few there, and Martins generally do get back. They generally have to be 16 to 1 or shorter to show anything. Again, something may win at a bigger price. I don't think I'll be on. The horse that I want to focus on, well, there's two. Let's start with Sweet Company, who is a reserve. Might get in. If he does, he will go off 16 to 1 or shorter, and therefore be interesting. He is, I haven't even looked at what race type we're in. What are we in here? Flat handicap, yes. So he is, well, he's 1 from 6 on the turf, 0 from 3 in handicaps. He's running over 16 furlongs. And it's Martin, so he's lightly rated, he's unexposed, he does qualify on an angle if he runs. Strange results happen at this meeting. Maybe this one would be quite strange. We're looking for him doing something different. I can see the H here, that indicates that he is wearing a hood. And is he wearing it for the first time? It looks like he is. So they persist with the tongue tie. He gets a hood for the first time. When you're trying, well, me personally, when I'm looking at a horse, I'm trying to explain recent poor form. I'm trying to ask the question, is the horse doing something different? And I'm going to do a separate video on that, because I think asking that one simple question could dramatically, well, it's definitely improved the way I punt and the way I look at big horses at bigger prices. And you can get excited about looking at a horse that is doing something different. Sweet Company in the International Stakes would be an example of that. He had first time blinkers. Is the horse doing something different? Yes. He hits all the stats and the trends. He's got first time blinkers. That is the reason why he might improve. Can we take a chance on him? He's 50 to 1. Let's roll the dice. He's 137 to 1 on Betfair starting price. Let's roll the dice. I'm pleased some of you did roll that dice. And your voice may be sounding like mine this morning. Where are we? So that's Sweet Company. He's got a hood. That may improve him. If he gets in, of course. He needs something to drop out, which I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but that's something to keep an eye on. And there is normally a time cut-off for that, isn't there? And I couldn't tell you what that is. It may well have passed. So there we go, that's that. The other horse I want to focus on, like I said, the Mullins ones and the Tony Martin need to hit the qualifying odds, hold on, where is he? Where is he? Shingari for Mr. Hold on, lost my train of thought. We're going to find the horse. Clearly I need another cup of coffee. There he is. All of you spotted him about 5 minutes ago. Number 14, Shingari for Mr. Hogan. We know he's in form. 33 to 1. This is a step up in class, I think, but at least the horse is in form. And it looks like he has got first time cheek pieces as well. Weighted with towards rear. You don't want to be weighted with towards rear here. He is wide drawn. That is probably going to do for him. He is going to need a hell of a lot of luck. But he qualifies on one of my angles. He is lightly raced. This is only his 6th flat handicap. He's done okay. Yielding is a question. It looks like he stays, but maybe he doesn't stay, but he's a big price. There's only so many questions you can ask about a big price. Again, at 33s, that may be another £2.50 that I throw at Betfair starting price, maybe £5 if I'm feeling brave. I like to have some fun with these big meeting nights. If I can back a few winners, have something to cheer. A lot of the time, you're just trying to survive these big meetings. And number one, really, we like this sport because we like to be entertained. That's the number one goal, and to have some fun. Having some shrapnel on 40 to 1 shots can be quite fun every now and then, and it is every now and then. Most of them fall out the back of the TV and are still running 3 days later. So that's him. That's all I'll say on that. Let me just click on the Instant Expert. This is the place tab. If I just go on the win, quite a lot of green, quite a lot of orange. That would indicate the race is actually quite competitive. You can stare that, pause that, have a look at that in your own time if you want. Pause the video, stare at this screenshot, see if there's any horses that you may now want to take a closer look at. If you back any winners doing that, do let me know. So that's the 740. Do we want to have a quick look at pace? Yes, we do. No, not many out and out front runners. You kind of want to see if there's anything low drawn. Interestingly, as my brain whirls away, I suspect that was this horse's first run, wasn't it, over 17 furlongs last time out? Or in any case, they may have been worried or concerned or questioning whether or not he'd actually stay. It looked like he ran okay. The 2 races before that, he led. Maybe because they thought he stayed further, so you may as well, if you think a horse stays further, you may as well have him handy and see if he can stretch the opposition and not rely on a quick turn of foot and instead try and gallop the opposition into submission from the front. So maybe, I mean, he's drawn wide. You've got 2 options. You go forward and you try and get a handy position, or you bite the bullet, take the medicine, you held up out the back. That's kind of why you do want a big price with hold-up horses, especially around here. Although in saying that, in this race, we're talking small samples. But being held up hasn't been a bad thing, but we're talking really small samples, so take that with a pinch of salt. Hidden Cyclone might try and be at the front if his old legs are quick enough. Zafian for Weld has led. So some of these wider drawn horses are probably going to want to get near the front, so that's interesting enough. But I will skip on from that. Again, here we are on another 3-year-old flat handicap. Acclamatio is looking very interesting. He qualifies on a couple of decent micro angles. He won last time out, which is decent enough. The ground is a question. But it's a question from looking at his form. He ran on in a maiden, but he was 33 to 1, so he clearly wasn't there to run well. Tony Martin was no doubt trying to get a handicap mark, so you can just pretty much ignore his maiden form. He was, maybe the horse was inexperienced, maybe he was learning to race, maybe running over a trip too short. Given the fact they've stepped him up in trip, that was clearly the reason for why he improved last time out. Now, if you were looking at this horse last time out, he was 33 to 1. He was returning after a break. He was running back on turf. He was taking a massive step up in trip, and he had a first-time tongue tie. If you look at that horse and you ask the question, is he doing something different? Tick, tick, tick. Ticks a few boxes. 33 to 1. It's the canny bugger that's Tony Martin. Might be of interest. That is where asking the question, is the horse doing something different? Why should he step up on his previous form? Asking that question, looking at what has happened to the change in the race conditions, what the horse is doing, headgear, running after a break, jockey change, etc., etc., suddenly opens up a new world, suddenly makes you look past the odds and think, oh, he's 33 to 1, he doesn't have a chance. They do. And that one clearly did. So he is unexposed at the trip. He's taking another step up. It's his second run in a tongue tie. He might improve even further. The one I want to focus on, what am I doing? What I want to focus on is the jockey quickly. Trainer's record with the jockey, and this is another interesting one. So if I go in handicaps, we're flat handicaps, aren't we? Now, doesn't that look awful? So they've teamed up 48 times in handicaps on the flat in the last 5 years. Only one time they've won. 12 times they've placed. Again, a pound on each, losing 43. Poor. But how do they get on at Galway? Oh, that's a bit better. 7 runs. There's the winner. 4 have placed. So that's an example where stats at a top level can think, oh, that's rubbish. But if you drill down at the track, they've done well. Those places have been in competitive races. They've probably all been at this meeting. Yes, they have. So that's nothing to be put off on. Horse won last time out. There's probably a load of lurkers, but it's marked in. He's definitely going to improve further at some point. Hopefully, he does not get. He's going to need luck in running. He might be hit trouble or something, but again, he would have a chance. 5 to 1 is probably fair enough. But I'll leave you to judge that. Finally, no, not finally, because I want to have a look at Foxy Lass, who also qualifies. Again, return was fit. So the first thing was fit. There isn't a fitness necessarily a reason why she come on for that last run. Miles behind the Martin runner last time out. Always towards rear, ridden, no impression. Market may guide, but he is out of the handicap here. He did nothing the last race. He's not really. He's moving up in trick by a furlong, but maybe that might spark some massive improvement. He needs to really improve. He's not getting any headgear on. He's only 13 days the last start. I would question if he's good enough to go anywhere close. Famous last words. We know what happens now. Final race for this short 10-minute video, which has lasted 31 minutes. I just can't record short videos, clearly, but these things take time. 840, Poet Power. This qualifies on a couple of Mullins angles, 9 to 2. The trainer's in great form. He's had first time out winners here. He's won this race before. He will have been primed to run well in this race, and he's 9 to 2. That's probably fair enough. Not much needs to be said there. He qualifies on one of my angles. The trainer's in form. The horse is clearly unexposed and could be anything. 9 to 2's okay. Not fantastic, but not 6 to 4. Not 5 to 2. There's clearly plenty of could be anything horses in here, and he might not be good enough, or he might. So that's interesting. So that is Galway. While we're here, we may as well go to 35 minutes, won't we? Should we just have a quick flick through some Gigi's reports and have a look to see if there are anything that you may want to note down with that notepad that you have at your side? Nope, so there are no first time starters at Galway today, are there? Handicap first run. I'm just focusing on Galway here. I'm looking at win percentage. Joseph O'Brien. So he's sent 3 handicap starters to Galway, 2 have won, 1's placed. 555 Successor, 7 to 1. We know O'Brien's in form, so that's interesting. Note him down in the 555. That's Successor. And again, handicap debut, that's the reason why that horse may improve on that form. I'm not going to go back and look at the race, but he might be stepping up in trip. He might have given more time to mature, to develop. They might have played with his wind. They might have just been running him over the wrong distance. They might have been running him to get experience, and he was never there to win a maiden. He now steps up into a handicap and will be a completely different horse, possibly. Gerlines has only sent 4 as well. He's had 1 winner. Mystic Traveller. That might interest you. I mean, they're small numbers, of course. Is there anything else for Galway? Mr. Oliver, despite those poor handicap hurdle stats, you remember I had a quick flick on them. What were they? 1 from 30 odd? Well, that winner was at Galway. So Susie Vega in the 505, 1 from 5. The winner was what? 12 to 1 or so? 10 to 1. Dermot Weld, they're pretty much over bet. His handicap starters in the first time here, but the stats are okay. 17% solid, not wonderful, but they're over bet. You'd lose money backing them all. So that's not a systematic angle. Not much else to say there. So that's handicap first start. We want to look at trainer and jockey combo. What time am I on? 34 minutes. We've got their recent form. I'm going to look straight at their club form in the last 5 years. These are all runners. I'm looking at decent numbers. Fahy, Caitley Walsh at 1 from 1. Interesting. Brian Ellison, Danny Mullins, 1 from 2, 2 places, new start, 16 to 1. Interesting. What else? Any other? Galway. O'Brien, Garrity. I mean, obviously, Garrity is retained rider for McManus, and he has a lot of horses with O'Brien, so those stats are only going to go one way. That's not really a behavioural angle. Oh, he's booked Barry Garrity. That's a sign the horse is going to win. Not really, because Barry's going to be riding most of the horses, but it's not a bad thing. So that's interesting. It's no harm for successor's chance. What else have we got? Noel Mead and Flanagan, 3 from 8, 6 places. Wait for Dave. The profit level here suggests that many of those have been a short price, which suggests the market may be a guide, which suggests this horse may not have a chance, but who knows. Martin and Clements, the graduate we looked at, well, he didn't. He kind of needs to be 16 to 1 or shorter on my stats, but sometimes they're blown out the water. Of interest, this training jockey have run here 6 times in all races. They've won 2 and never been out of the places. And the profit suggests that they do have decent price winners, 8, 9 to 1 there. So watch out the market for the graduate, especially if he comes 16 to 1 or shorter, but he might be worth a punt anyway. Anyone else? Mullins and Walsh, clearly they do quite well. We've touched on that horse there. Galway. Mullins and Mullins, again, they're pretty much over bet. But the stats, 7 from 23, 14 places, decent. The market clearly doesn't miss them in general. But again, Poet Power, 9 to 2, maybe of some interest. Slattery, Donahue, 2 from 7, 4 places. Again, you can note that, do as you please. I did touch on him as looking like an interesting each way bet. May get the pace, he's consistent, looks likely to run his race, which is a question for most of the others in that race. Although, as we've seen from some of those stats above, and the handicap debut stats, there are possibly some lurkers in that race. So that's that. Weldon, Smullin, £1 on each of their rides in this at Galway would have lost you quite a bit of money. They performed below market expectations. So that's that really. I think that's trainer jockey. I'm not going to look at hot form. I've looked through the trainer stats. Let's flick back to here. That is a video that was meant to be 10 minutes and is now 37. But I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you've got the time to watch it, thanks for watching. Split it up during the day. Watch, whatever, and you can dip back in. You're probably on your 5th cup of tea. I'm probably going to go and have a, I don't know, paracetamol, some kind of Lemsip, and try and get this voice and slightly dodgy cold sorted out. Good luck with any bets you place today. You'll see I put the trainer form indicators against those horses. That link below the video, the GG's Gold one there, you can click on that and you can try a 30-day trial for £1 if you want. I'm not saying that to sell it. I'm more saying it because I am videoing Matt's content of GG's Gold that people pay a substantial enough money for each month, and it is only right that I tell you how good it is, but you've seen that with your own eyes. But you can take the trial below, and that may well transform your punting. But I will leave that there, and no I won't, because something's just crossed my mind. Told you these are live. What I wanted to do was look at quickly Mr. Hogan and his price, because there are a lot of horses, as we have seen, that have been sent off a big price. I'm focusing on his flat runners. As you can see here, this is horse race base, so you can do some other digging. I do use it for the price. So yes, right, there we go. Very, very, very interesting. All flat runners since 1997. Actually, well, he's only got runners since 2011. So all his runners on the flat. Look at this price here. So those sent off at 22 to 1 or bigger are 0 from 101. 4 have placed. So the market is a guide. So some of those bigger price horses I've touched on, we don't really want to be interested in, do we? Unless they come in 20 to 1 or shorter. that is interesting. That's a good size stats pool, and it would indicate the market is some guide to the horse's chance and ability and suitability to race conditions. And on that note, I will finish and say thank you for watching. I hope you found that enjoyable to some extent or useful. We probably haven't highlighted a winner. That was normally the way it might go in future with these videos, but you can see the method to my madness, a statistical research starting point to do with trainers and their record at certain big meetings, and then using the best set of horse racing tools around to see if we can home in on any winners. So do with that as you please. Hopefully you find a winner in there somewhere, and I'll be back at some point. I might record one for Goodwood. I will endeavour to make these videos shorter, but going through such races in that detail, even though brief when you're going through a whole card, does take time. So we'll leave it there. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you for watching. This is Josh saying bye for now.